The Jedi of old were legendary for their skill in battle, yet even the Jedi knew that a lightsaber could not solve all problems. The warriors who dedicated their lives to martial discipline prized peace, but had the wisdom to fight only when necessary and to recognize those times. Now, such warriors see the dire need to take up arms against the cruel oppression and senseless violence of the Galactic Empire, master the arts of battle, and achieve victory with Knights of Fate. This supplement expands upon the Force and Destiny role-playing game, adding new content for warriors and other characters seeking to improve their martial skills. Ready your blade and prepare to face worthy foes, perfect your technique, and make your triumphs known across the galaxy. This is a review of Knights of Fate. Let's dive in. And here we have Star Wars Force and Destiny Knights of Fate, a sourcebook for warriors, published in 2018 by Fantasy Flight Now Edge Studios. The introduction of the book serves as a reminder of the role Jedi serve in the Star Wars universe. It's pure fluff, but if you like reading that sort of thing, then have at it. Warriors of Light serves as the chapter for new player options. We'll find species, new specializations, signature abilities, and a force power to play with. Warriors have a new morality to use, and this will include things like bravery and recklessness, confidence and arrogance, dedication and obsession, camaraderie and conformity, conviction and obstinacy, honor and vanity, justice and judging, consideration and hesitancy, sympathy and desperation, discipline and repression, caution and fear, idealism and naivete. There are 3 species to play around with in this book: Dawutin, Mikian, and Phytolon. Dawutin begin the game with a 3 in Brawn, a 1 in Agility, and a 2 in everything else. Their wound threshold is 15 plus Brawn, and their strength threshold is 8 plus Willpower. They only begin the game with 85 XP though. They also begin the game with a rank in Resilience, and they have a silhouette of 1 or 2. They are also immovable, so Dawutins who suffer the immobilized condition are knocked prone or otherwise moved against their will may, as an out-of-turn incidental, suffer 3 strain to avoid the effect. Dawutins who are Silhouette 2 suffer only 1 strain to use this ability. Mikians have a 3 in Willpower, a 1 in Brawn, and a 2 in everything else. Their wound threshold is 10 plus Brawn, and their strength threshold is 11 plus Willpower. They begin the game with 100 XP. They also begin the game with 1 rank in Discipline, and they have sensory tendrils, meaning they add a boost die to all perception checks they make. Phytolons begin the game with a 3 in Willpower, a 1 in Presence, and a 2 in everything else. Their wound and strength threshold is 10 plus the relevant characteristic. They begin the game with 100 XP. Phytolons begin the game with 1 rank in Cool or Discipline, and they have a symbiotic resilience, which, when recovering wounds naturally, Phytolons heal 1 extra wound per full night's rest. In addition, a Phytolon may attempt to recover naturally from 1 critical injury after a full night's rest instead of after a full week. And they also have Symbiont Isolation, so if no other Phytolons are present when a Phytolon recovers strain at the end of an encounter, they recover 1 less strain to a minimum of 1. Warriors have 3 new specializations: Colossus, Juyo Berserker, and Steel Hand Adept. A warrior's career skills are Athletics, Brawl, Cool, Melee, Perception, and Survival. The Colossus adds Brawl, Discipline, Melee, and Resilience to that list. In the first tier, we have Toughen, so we gain +2 wound threshold. We have Durable, so may reduce any critical injury suffered by 10 per rank of Durable to a minimum of 1. We have Hard-Headed, so when staggered or disoriented, perform the Hard-Headed action, make a daunting discipline check to remove status, difficulty reduced per rank of Hard-Headed. And we have Grit, so we gain +1 strength threshold. In the second tier, we have another rank of Toughened, another rank of Durable, and another rank of Grit, and another rank of Hard-Headed. In the third tier, we have another rank of Toughened, another rank of Durable, and we have Headbutt. Perform the Headbutt incidental, suffering 2 wounds to knock down and disorient the enemy, and we have Enduring, so we gain +1 soak value. In the fourth tier, we have another rank of Toughened, but we also add Unstoppable. If a critical injury roll is 1 or reduced to 1, do not receive the critical injury. We have Improved Hard-Headed. When incapacitated due to strain exceeding threshold, may take a more difficult hard-headed action to reduce strain to 1 below threshold. And we have Indomitable Will. Once per encounter, as a maneuver, suffer 3 strain to commit force die up to force rating and reduce all damage suffered by an equal amount, but suffer 1 strain each turn. In the final tier, we have improved toughened, so once per session may heal wounds equal to ranks in toughened. We have heroic fortitude, may spend 1 destiny point to ignore effects of critical injuries on brawn or agility checks until the end of the encounter. We have a rank of dedication, so we gain +1 to a single characteristic, but remember, this cannot bring a characteristic above 6. And we have power from pain, which is a conflict-inducing ability. So for every session that you actually have this ability, you gain 1 conflict automatically. Once per session as an incidental, may spend 1 destiny point to gain +1 force rating for each critical injury character is suffering until the end of the encounter. The Juyo Berserker's bonus career skills include coercion, discipline, lightsaber, and melee. In the first tier, we have a rank of toughened. We have parry. When hit by a melee attack, suffer 3 strain to reduce damage by 2 plus ranks in parry. We have a rank of grit, so we gain +1 strain threshold. And we have intimidating. May suffer a number of strain to downgrade difficulty of coercion checks or upgrade difficulty when targeted by coercion checks by an equal number. Strain suffered this way cannot exceed ranks in intimidating. In the second tier, we have another rank of parry, but we also have inner peace. Once per encounter, convert a number of dark side destiny points equal to ranks in inner peace to light side destiny points and reduce conflict gained this session. We have Vapad control. When making a lightsaber combat check, the character may suffer 1 strain to downgrade the difficulty of the check a number of times equal to the number of light side destiny points in the destiny pool. And we have lethal blows. Add +10 per rank of lethal blows to any critical injury result inflicted on opponents. In the third tier, we have another rank of lethal blows, but we also have balance. When the character recovers strain at the end of the encounter, they may add a force die per force rating. They recover additional strain equal to force pips generated. We have quick strike. Add a boost die per rank of quick strike to combat checks against targets that have not acted yet this encounter. And we have embrace your hate, which is also a conflict ability. May spend 1 destiny point and then suffer conflict equal to dark side destiny points in pool to add equal damage to melee attack. May use this ability once per encounter per rank. In the fourth tier, we have another rank of inner peace, another rank of intimidating, and another rank of quick strike. But we also add Juyo Savagery, which is a conflict ability. The character adds +5 to critical injury rolls from lightsaber attacks for each dark side destiny point in the destiny pool. In the final tier, we have another rank of parry, another rank of embrace your hate, our first rank of dedication, and multiple opponents. Add a boost die to lightsaber, brawl, and melee checks when engaged with multiple opponents. The Steel Hand Adept's bonus career skills include brawl, coordination, discipline, and vigilance. In the first tier, we have a rank of grit, but we also have 2 ranks of iron body. Remove a setback die per rank of iron body from coordination and resilience checks. Reduce the critical rating of unarmed attacks by 1 per rank of iron body to a minimum of 1. We also have a rank of toughened. In the second tier, we have martial grace. Once per round, suffer 2 strain to add damage equal to ranks in coordination to 1 hit of a successful brawl attack. We have Ackley's Scything Strike. Brawl attacks gain pierce equal to force rating. We have unarmed parry, so we may parry while unarmed, reduce strain cost to parry while unarmed by 1 to a minimum of 1, and we have precision strike. When this character inflicts a critical injury with a brawl, melee, or lightsaber weapon, may suffer 1 strain to change the results to any easy critical injury. In the third tier, we have another rank of parry, but we also add dodge. When targeted by a combat check, may perform a dodge incidental to suffer a number of strain no greater than ranks of dodge, then upgrade the difficulty of the check by that number. We have swift, does not suffer usual penalties for moving through difficult terrain, and we have improved precision strike. Once per round, when inflicting a critical injury with a brawl or melee weapon, may suffer 2 strain to change the results to any average critical injury. In the fourth tier, we have another rank of toughened and another rank of grit, but we also have improved dodge. After using dodge, can make a move maneuver as an out-of-turn incidental, and we have Sapith Sundering. May add a force die up to force rating to brawl checks. The attack gains the Sunder quality, and character may spend force pips generated on the check as advantages to activate the Sunder quality. In the final tier, we have another rank of dodge, but we also have a force rating increase. We have Far Strike as an action, make a brawl check as a ranged attack, adding force die up to force rating. Increase the range of the attack by 1 band for each force pip spent to a maximum of long. And we have a rank of dedication. Warriors also have a new motivation category, challenge. This will include things like liberation, birthright, perfection, meaning, acceptance, legacy, recognition, worthy opponent, martial mastery, and superiority. Warriors have access to 2 signature abilities, deadly reputation and unmatched ferocity. Signature abilities are powerful, usually once per session abilities. These are attached to the bottom of a specialization that matches the career for that ability. There are also upgrades that you can purchase that make them way better. Deadly Reputation's base ability says once per session as an incidental, the character may spend 2 destiny points to activate Deadly Reputation. Until the end of the character's next turn, increase the difficulty of all skill checks targeting the character by 1. Unmatched Ferocity's base ability says once per session, after resolving a successful melee combat check against a target engaged with the character may spend 2 destiny points. The character then suffers 4 strain and 1 conflict to immediately make a melee attack as an incidental against the same target, increasing the difficulty of the check by 1 to a maximum difficulty of Formidable. If successful, the character may repeat the process, suffering further strain and conflict. In addition, there is a new force power, Endure. Endure's basic power says when the character suffers a critical injury with a severity no greater than easy, the character may activate Endure as an out-of-turn incidental and commit a force die to temporarily ignore the effect of that injury. The character does not apply any results from the critical injury or add +10 to further rolls on the critical injury results table while the force die remains committed. When this ongoing effect ends, the character suffers all effects of the critical injury unless it has been treated. Tools of Battle is the chapter for new gear. You'll find new weapons, armor modifications, and ships within. For ranged weapons, we have things like the FWG-7 Flechette Carbine, the MR-90 Proton Rifle, the Repulsor Throwing Razor, the RLR-331 Bulldog Rocket Rifle, Model 13-4A Rotary Cannon, the RGL-318 Grenade Launcher, and the Model 4 Thunderhead Scattergun. For new melee weapons, we have things like the double-bladed Vibro Sword, which, we're always going to need more Vibro weapons, so why not? We have the Riot Shield, the RS-01 Ripper Power Sword, and the Shock Prod Staff. For new lightsabers, we're going to have things like the Broad Saber, the Contained Energy Axe, the Great Lightsaber, and the Light Foil. For explosives and ordnances, we're going to have things like the Concussion, Incendiary, Ion, Plasma, and Sonic Grenades, and we're going to have the Concussion, Fragmentation, High Explosive, and Incendiary Missiles. For new armor, we're going to have things like the Ancient Battle Armor, the Mark I Katarn Class Commando Armor, and the Phase 1 Arc Trooper Armor. For new gear and equipment, we're going to have things like the Combat Scanner and the Hardened Comlink, but we're also going to have the Condenser, the Camouflage Netting, the Entrenching Tool, Portable Shelter, and the Training Weights, in case you wanted to be like Goku and train for a while. We do have some new droids in this book as well, like the ASP-19 Battle Droid, the SR Series Scout Observation Droid, and the WSW Mark III Harrier Combat Remote. For new vehicles, we're going to have things like the SK-II Skywing Personal Speeder, the 88R Night Screamer Speeder Bike, the RX Falcon Ion Tank, the TX-130 Saber Class Fighter Tank, the SCS-19 Sentinel Armored Land Speeder, the RTT-04 Armored Troop Transport, the All-Terrain Attack Pod, the AO-2 Comet Strike Class Orbital Assault Pod, which, looks pretty awesome. It looks like a freaking droid. The APX T3 Suncutter Light Interceptor, the H-22A D-Wing Heavy Attack Boat, the SS-54 Light Assault Gunship, the TIE RP Reaper Attack Lander, the Jathu Class Landing Ship, the LH-75 Specialty Live Hauler Freighter, and the Brahatok Class Gunship. The Path of Violence serves as the chapter for GMs. We'll find information on lightsaber forms, advice on using morality, and plot hooks for warriors. First is the section on the 7 lightsaber forms. If you don't know, then this section will be most useful, although there really isn't anything in terms of mechanics here. It's just fluff on what each form kind of looks like. We do have a section on using morality, but quite honestly, we have something like it already in the core rulebooks, so it's not really worth it. There's a section on integrating warriors, which can be useful if you need some inspiration, but again, there's nothing really noteworthy here. We do have one addition to the mechanics in Mindful Assessment. This can be used when a warrior enters one-on-one combat with powerful opponents, or not. This uses a perception or a knowledge check. If they pass, they basically get a boost die for the rest of the combat against that particular foe. And there is a table for extra advantages and triumphs. Quite honestly, I really don't see the purpose of this, because it's just giving the warrior a free boost die during combat. And that's pretty much it. The only thing that really saves this book from being low tier for me is the fact that it's a source book for warriors, which is kind of a staple in the Star Wars universe. The new specializations are interesting, but that's kind of all. The GM Toolkit chapter is by far the worst in the entire line of all the source books. It just doesn't really add anything to the game, and what little it does add isn't very interesting at all. Mindful Assessment basically gives warriors a free boost die in every combat against one enemy. It just kind of seems tacked on, like they were really struggling for ideas and this was all that they could come up with. So yeah, Knights of Fate, that's gonna be mid-tier, and that's really pushing it too. Well, that's gonna do it for this video. Feel free to leave a comment down below, give this video a huge thumbs up to support this series, and I will see you guys in the next video.